Young man, hurry up, please. When we maintain our strength and energy, we live with vitality, going through our daily routine with ease. And it all begins with the complete nutrition of Nutrient Optimum. It has whey protein for muscle building, pre and probiotics to improve gut function. Nutrient Optimum, optimum strength, optimum living. Introducing a brand new look with the same complete nutrition you know and trust. Young man, hurry up, please. When we maintain our strength and energy, we live with vitality, going through our daily routine with ease. And it all begins with the complete nutrition of Nutrient Optimum. It has whey protein for muscle building, pre and probiotics to improve gut function. Nutrient Optimum, optimum strength, optimum living. Introducing a brand new look with the same complete nutrition you know and trust.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Be a Star After 50, organized by Star Media Group in collaboration with Nutrient Optimum by Nestle Health Science, where we celebrate Malaysians over 50 who are exemplary role models in our 4 pillars, which spells the acronym of STAR. S for sporty, those who are active. T for tender-hearted, involved in charitable or community work. And A for ambitious, learning new skills, trying new experiences. And last but not least, R for radiant, those who take care of their health and wellness. And the topic for today's webinar is how to break a midlife mindset and start a fit mind habit. So, for those of you who are joining us via Zoom, Facebook, or YouTube, we'd like to thank you so much for joining us. My name is Myra Baiti, and I will be your host for today. I'm a freelance MC, public speaking trainer, former journalist and social impact project manager for STAR's award-winning investigative journalism team, Rage. Now, who doesn't often reminisce their younger days when they feel impervious, almost immortal? Everyone's yesterday somehow seems brighter than today's present. However, as we grow older, our bodies do require more care, especially constant, consistent, and balanced nutrition. However, we know that it can be very difficult to get this adequate nutrition from a regular diet, and that's why Nutrient Optimum provides an easy and convenient solution for complete nutrition, which helps you to fill your nutritional gaps and ensure your body stays its best. I need some of this because my knee is still trying to recover from last week's fall. But Nutrient Optimum also helps to address nutritional gaps. With rich, creamy taste, the Nutrient Optimum is a complete nutritional supplement that contains whey protein, prebiotics, and up to 27 vitamins and minerals. With the right nutrition, you can stay protected and live strong to continue doing the things that you love. In my case, that's Zumba. Now, if you look at the top left of the screen, you would notice a little icon. Oh, down there. Oh, yes, you will notice a little icon that says participate to win. So take note, and by the end of the session, you can take part in the contest and stand a chance to win a jute bag, Nutrient Optimum, and a shaker. So now I'm going to tell you what are the 5 key benefits of why is Nutrient Optimum an ideal choice to fuel your nutritional needs. So listen to this, because after this, if you join the competition, you will have to remember it. So number 1, Nutrient Optimum allows you to have more of an energy boost. It's got 251 nutrient-rich calories and 8 vitamin B to help convert food to energy. The second thing, that it has strong muscles. 50% of whey protein that supports muscle growth is also in this product. And this is really important, and a lot of new science has actually pointed to the importance of this particular organ. It is the gut. And this product also helps with gut function. It has prebiotics as well as probiotics to nourish good bacteria in your gut. It also supports your body's natural defense system, and this is because it's nutritionally complete with 27 essential vitamins and minerals, including vitamin C, D, E, and B12 to supplement your daily needs. Last but not least, it will help you get strong bones. And so Nutrient Optimum is one of your ideal choices because it does help you to fill your nutritional gaps in order to complete the solution to optimum living. So you don't have to worry about insufficient nutrients in your meals, as this product provides an easy and convenient solution for balanced and proportioned meals, helping you to fill your nutritional gaps and to ensure that your body stays its best as it contains high quality whey protein, remember, that aids in building muscle strength, and probiotics to improve your gut health. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's find out how we can live a long and fruitful life. Today, we have 3 people over 50 to share their secrets to longevity as well as aging well. So, let me introduce you to our speakers. Our first speaker is Tan Sri Dato Dr. Jegathesan, the Flying Doctor of Malaysia. Tan Sri Jegathesan is a postgraduate medical doctor in pathology and infectious diseases, who is currently a consultant clinic microbiologist in the private sector and the Pro-Chancellor of the University of Science, Malaysia. He also won the Asia Games sprint title in 1962 and 1966, as well as being a semi-finalist in the Olympic Games in 1964 and 1968. And last but not least, he's also the winner of 2 national awards, the Sportsman of the Year Award in 1966 and the Nutritional Science Award in 1995, along with academician or senior fellow of the Academy of Sciences, Malaysia. Our second speaker, Sunny Shalesh, is the founder and technical director of Pan Disability Football Malaysia. Coach Sunny started his Pan Disability Football Malaysia in 2007 after he left his corporate job in 2006 to start coaching the differently abled as a therapy, which was impacted by the plight of his brother, who was diagnosed with mental retardation and cerebral palsy. He has been coaching for 14 years and gained the exposure of structured coaching after playing football with several former professional Brazilian football stars. He is also known as one of the 10 winners of the Star Golden Hearts Award in 2021 and also won the Star Gamuda Inspiration Award in the same year. Our third speaker is Datin Dr. Winnie Liu, the founder of A Cut Above. Datin Dr. Winnie is a synonymous name in the hair industry and currently is leading the Branding Association of Malaysia as the president. Award-winning president, the Datin Dr. Winnie Liu has not rested on her laurels despite these achievements though. She's an avid believer in lifelong learning and is constantly being sought after for her motivational sharing and wise words of wisdom in many platforms. Her never give up attitude has seen her achieving tremendous success in whatever she involves herself in. One of her secrets is to eat healthily. Despite her age at 63, she has managed to maintain her youthful look and healthy body. Now, the panelists are getting warmed up and getting started, so we'll be back soon with the panel discussion. See you all later.
Young man, hurry up, please. When we maintain our strength and energy, we live with vitality, going through our daily routine with ease. And it all begins with the complete nutrition of Nutrient Optimum. It has whey protein for muscle building, pre and probiotics to improve gut function. Nutrient Optimum, optimum strength, optimum living. Introducing a brand new look with the same complete nutrition you know and trust.
Hi everyone, welcome.
Hi, Myra.
Before we do start the panel, just a little reminder to the audience. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat box or in the comment section on whatever platform that you are on, and we will get to them if time permits. So without further ado, if our panelists are ready, why don't we start by introducing ourselves? I know I did as well, but what about we introduce ourselves in terms of what we are passionate about when it comes to learning how to age. So perhaps Dr. Jega, you might start first.
Thank you very much, Myra. And also, I'd like to thank the Star for having given me the opportunity to be with you all today on a subject that, really is very interesting to me and something that I have been following for many, many years of my life. Now, the fact remains that we are talking about how do you keep your your interest, and how do you keep progressing in spite of aging? The fact remains that as a human species, we do have a limitation on our lifespan. Of course, it varies from person to person. Some live longer than others, some lived much more fruitful life than others. But the fact remains that we do have a limit. But the fact remains that there are many things that we can do that will not only allow us to live longer, but allow us to live better lives. In other words, there are things that we can do which not only adds years to your life, but life to your years. In other words, whatever time you've got left, you are able to enjoy it much better. The fact remains that although we have an age, and just like, even a machine, as we age, many of our parts begin to lose their efficiency, yeah? And finally they grind to a halt. We can extend them by doing some many things. Now, in the case of our human beings, what I like to call is we can cheat age. Cheating age, which is different from age cheating. We cheat age through a healthy lifestyle. And actually,
Mm.
there are four principles that
Mm.
you need to follow that will help you do this.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Dato Jega, for that. And I will definitely look forward to talking about that cheating age. I think that's interesting. It's something that all of us want to know. But next, perhaps, Coach Sunny, maybe you can share just a little bit about what you're passionate about when it comes to this process of aging.
Good evening, everyone. Um, Thank you, Myra. Thank you, the star. Thank you, audience. Well, we keep hearing this age is just a number, right? Everybody speaks about it. Okay? In my case, one day somebody calls me Sunny. Then, as I age, somebody calls me Abang or brother. Then, one part of my life, somebody calls me uncle. And then one part another life, somebody calls you Inche or Mister. So we cannot avoid going through that. What I did, I've aged gracefully. Praise God for that. What I did was basically to discover myself, what I like most, and which is the area that I want to share and ensure that I could be still around to provide back to the society. And I choose football. And speaking about football, we have so many coaches, great coaches in the country, but I choose to coach a different segment of society, which is the disabled people or the special needs. And that's it. I feel refreshed doing so for the community. Yep. And I hope I have many more years added to keep going coaching them. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Coach Sunny. And I think it'll be very interesting to hear from your perspective as well, because you do have a lot of different experience with different types of aging. So I think it'll be very interesting to hear that as well. So thank you so much for the introduction. Last but not least, Datin, Winnie, what about you? What is your passion when it comes to this process of aging?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Star, for having me. Sound from mine. Sorry. Well, I must say, sorry, something is wrong.
Sorry, I think we're having a little bit of resonance from the mic. Sorry, Datin. No worries,
From
but
mine. Well, I'm sorry because you see?
it's okay. I think one of the things that we're doing here is to also remix the speech. So that's a little bit of an extra experience that we're having today. I think okay. I think Datin, I think perhaps you might be muted. This is one of the wonderments of having online panel discussions. For those of you in the audience, thank you so much for your patience. And I think Datin is back with us.
I tell you what, I should just excuse myself. Let me just get it fixed.
Wonderful. I think perhaps what we can do is we can take a little bit of a short break while we consider the slight technical difficulties. We'll see you back in a minute. Hi, everyone. We're back. Thank you so much for joining us again. For those of you in the audience, thank you so much for your patience. And let's restart everything again. So first, with Dato Jega, we've had a passion towards aging, and then with Coach Sunny, we talked about pursuing passionate his passion to give back to society. So Datin Winnie, what about you? What is your passion when it comes to aging?
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm so sorry once again. Well, what's my passion? I learned to embrace it, and I'm thankful that every day I'm alive. Um, I think it's very important that we just have to learn to accept that we can't change reality. Um, Embracing growing old, like what Sunny just talked about, just it's just a number. So
Mm.
as long as I keep adding the numbers, actually I'm being even more thankful because every birthday I am actually grateful that I'm alive. To me, every day is a gift. I'm embracing it very well. And instead of complaining, I actually I do not count the days and the years, but actually I celebrate life.
I love that. I think that's a beautiful way to look at it. Quite often, I think even for like for me, I think past the age of 23, when I started going to 25 and towards my late 20s, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I started to kind of be like, oh my God, I'm approaching 30, a transition in a life, right? And I think also when it comes to the 40s, what we're talking about today, that's another transition in our lives as well that could be difficult. So I love the fact that you're all here so that we can discuss this. So I guess we'll talk about it in terms of three different key topics for those of you in the audience today. So we'll look at aging positively in terms of physiological changes. We'll also look at how we can keep fit and also how we can talk about our emotions when we are transitioning through this 40-year-old, this 40 um, age category. So first, I actually did want to talk about with Dr. Jega, right? From a physical and microbiological standpoint, because I know that you do a lot of microbiology, and then we did talk about gut health just a little bit in the beginning. What does it mean exactly to age? Because I think when we talk about aging, it's kind of like a term that we use, but what does it mean in terms of your body and its physiological changes when you are aging?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, each species that is existing in this globe of ours, yeah, where we share the earth, have got an average lifespan. For instance, you know how many years a dog is alive, how many years a cat is alive, and in human beings, we also have a span of life. I mean, of course, we have stories of people ranging up to 100 plus. On the other hand, other people, when they are 50, 60, they think they are already very old. And what is important to realize is that our life expectancy has been gradually increasing in the world as well as in Malaysia, simply because of our advances in medical interferences or interventions, where we have kept people alive for longer, as well as our knowledge about aging. Because aging is really where our body parts slowly give way and finally they stop functioning. And there comes a time when our whole body doesn't function and we say goodbye and we go, you know. So that is basically what it is. But there are many things that we can do to delay this process. And these are not secrets, huh? They are very well known, but people don't practice what they know so well. And that we call the knowledge paradox. It's not that we don't know what we should do, but we don't practice because we don't have the discipline to do that, you know. That is the problem. And actually, the knowledge is there about the things that we can do to prolong our life in a healthier fashion, you know. And basically, it involves four principles. Yeah, if I can mention them now, the first principle is really, you know, the ability to what do you call, control your weight, diet and weight control. You know, so that one of the biggest problems in ill health and early aging is obesity, you know, where people put on too much weight. So weight control and eating the proper diet is the first principle. The second principle is that we should have enough exercise and physical activity. For instance, when our species was first originated hundreds of thousands of years ago, every day we had to run around and chase our food and so on. Today we sit in a chair most of the time. Unless you do physical activity, your body, which was constructed to work and manage, is not doing its job, because our body has not changed much in hundreds of thousands of years, you know, and yet our lifestyle has changed. So we have to consciously exercise our body. So exercise and physical activity is a second principle, that will help us to cheat age. And the third one is, there are many things that damage us and damage our bodies, and we must learn how to avoid them. For example, things like alcohol and smoking and so on in excess, yeah, affects our bodies, and we must learn how to avoid them. And those are just two examples. The third one will be not sleeping enough, not having enough rest, having too much stress. So we must avoid all those things that damage us. And the fourth one is, just like a motor car, periodically you have to go for servicing. And similarly, as a human person, we have to do preventive maintenance. So as we grow older, we have to have regular medical checkups, yeah, to find out if any particular part of our anatomy or physiology is not working so well, so that we can take the rightful steps to minimize or to curtail the damage. So these are the four principles that need to follow, that will allow you to not only live longer but live a much happier life. So
Oh,
that
I
would be
like
the
that.
basic principles. Yes.
Sorry, that's wonderful. I was hoping when you at step number 4 you would mention a spa as a way to maintain your body, because I would definitely like to have that as an excuse. Perhaps have it covered by our our employee schemes. There'll be wonderful trips to the spa. Thank you so much for that. I think, yeah. So now that we understand a little bit more, but I think about the physiology, which is interesting. I think what you mentioned about us sitting down very often, I think is an issue. I remember even when I first started working, because I used to be very, very active in high school. A lot of these trips also, I think, not just applicable to those in their 40s or 50s, but I think to different ages as well. But lots of problems with like lower back, shoulder, neck tightness, and all these kind of things contribute to our body breaking down. So thank you so much for talking about how that changes our physical, the way that we physically move around. But in terms of our mental changes, right? Because there's a aging is a multifaceted process. So what I'm also interested in is like the mental sides of it. What kind of mental changes do we go through when you're in your 40s, and how did you come how did you overcome them? So I think this is a question that I want to direct at Coach Sunny.
Yeah, thank you, Myra. I was trying to refer what Dr. Jega actually just said. Human species. I always go around telling people we are living in an industrialized world
Mm,
where we breathe a lot of carbon monoxide nowadays.
mm,
We eat a lot of vegetables, you've got all these chemicals and all these things. And then I met a few people who are like, "How old are you, Auntie?" I'm like 90. She's like 96. So God bless you at 96, sitting down there. She can look at the person. Well, the children told me that she grew up eating all the village vegetables, sayo kampung, they call that, you know. And God bless the lady, she's 96 now. Like what Doctor said, we are living in a, the human species today is living in an industrialized nation where we are exposed to so many elements.
mm,
We are what we consume, and Doctor said it right. But speaking about me, there's no exception about me. I'm not getting any younger. I'm just getting older. So what I did was like, fine. I would say that I looked decently well when I was early 20s, right?
you still look good, Coach Sunny. What are you talking about?
Are you sure? 52 now. Okay, fine. So that is not going to happen again. Where you are at 20s and you're able to run well, you're able to play
Mm,
football, you're able to do many other things. So and then we well, we have to sail through with that. That's the living process. We can't slow that down. Every year you celebrate your birthday. There'll come a point when you reach 30, and then it's like, oh, I'm like in midlife now. Those days,
mm,
people are talking. It's like, what? You are already 30. 30 is like, oh, sudah tua. You're old. But today, it's not 30 anymore. You can still jog, and you're 50 years old. You're a rock star. You see. So I went through all that process. Thank you, God, for still giving me that energy. But the thing here is that when I reached 20 plus, 30 plus, I was like busy serving my bosses, my employers, customers. And all this thing. When I reached 36, I started to feel the mental stress. It's like
mm,
marathon meetings.
mm,
You get a phone call and you have to fly to Jakarta in
mm,
24-hour notice, and that's when everybody goes through their own living circumstances. You have children at home, children growing,
mm,
you have a spouse, like spouse gets caught off guard. It's like, what? You're just flying just like that, you know so it's a lot of mental stress that you feel. And
mm,
I actually retired. I would say I actually retired at the age of 37. I stopped. I stopped working for people. I stopped working. I decided to take things easy, spend more time with the family, my wife, my two children. I had two then, and I indulged myself in a passion that not many people want to take that part, that is to work with the disabled community, because I have a brother who is born at birth, lah, okay, cerebral palsy and mental retardation, and my spouse very very involved in the development of the lifestyle of an academic for people with disabilities. But I saw a link, I saw a void space there, and it's like, I have a brother, my wife is involved in this. I jumped into it and said, how can we make this better? So instead of figure crunching and managing human resource issues and marketing and advertising and sales, operational issues, today this staff doesn't come to work, tomorrow that staff, the next day the toilet breaks down, everything. So I switch. It's a switch. It's a switch for me to turn a different leaf and to serve the community. Well, that was the point. That there's no turning back. From there on, I realized that there's so much love, there's so much to learn, and there are people out there, there are children out there with special needs, people with disabilities who actually need something from us, some of our expertise, some of our knowledge that we can channel down to them and make life more meaningful. Instead of looking at a person as a disabled person, look at a person as a human being first. So my brother taught me a few things, that he has the right to play too. He slides, doesn't walk. One day the ball was rolling and he kicked the ball out of nowhere and it broke the windows. And I told myself, this was like when I was 17 years old. I told myself, when I grow up, or rather when I get older, I am going to teach the disabled people how to play football. And that was a dream. That was a dream. I couldn't do it for him, but today I'm putting 10 classifications of people with disability. I chose that. I chose that journey, and I feel loved every time a disabled child comes and tells you, "It's like thank you, coach," and gives you a hug. An autistic child gives you a hug. Or the blind players give you a high five and say, "Thank you, coach." To me, that's blessings. Keeps me going. I love what I do, and here I am. I'm still pushing every week, and I think I finally discovered myself from the age of 37. Yep.
Thank you so much for sharing that very heartwarming story. I guess just to clarify just a little bit, right? So it's wonderful how you decided to change, because I think a lot of people when they go to their 40s, right, there's this thing called the midlife crisis, and then there's a lot of stigma related, or like there's a lot of jokes surrounding the midlife crisis. You buy a Ferrari and then you go. But you said that there was a bit of a mental switch, right, during this time in your late 30s when you decided to go from that corporate life towards this seed of wanting to help that was planted with your brother when he was very young. What about that? What exactly kind of changed? What in your mind? What is that switch? Like, where was it before, and then where was it after?
I was actively playing football. I was fortunate. I got to play and coach and learn from some Brazilian stars that were residing in Malaysia. I used to play football. And one day my wife actually asked me, it's like, everybody indulges in some kind of sports, but the sports that you indulge yourself in, she doesn't understand. It's like you go for exercise and you come back with bruises and scars and injuries. So she asked me, it's like, as you get older, do you want to still go through all these injuries? Why not challenge? Why not channel the know-how in football to people with disabilities? Because there are children, there are teenagers out there who would love to play football, but nobody is coaching them. They have the right to play. They are Malaysians too, and so that was what inspired me to make that switch. Instead of playing football on my own with mainstream football at 37 to 42, I was still playing. I actually dedicated my life to coach the disabled, to tell them to come out and play because I'm here. I know how to coach a football team, and I'm going to extend this knowledge to this platform, to this segment of the society. And like I said, the rest is history.
Oh, that is beautiful. You turned your life around, and you started a whole new life coming into your 40s. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing that. It's a beautiful story. And I guess one of the other things as well that we think about when it comes to aging, right, is also this feeling, this emotional change. So, Coach Sunny, you mentioned this as well, right? This feeling of wanting to help. And Datin, Winnie, I know that you have, gone through. You're a very passionate person. Like a lot of your work when it comes to motivating focuses on that transition. So, kind of in the same train of thought with these changes, right? In terms of your 40s, what kind of emotional changes do we usually go through when we are in midlife? And if you have any experiences that you want to share with us on, what kind of changes and how you overcome them, also feel free.
Well, I personally have a couple of problems myself in that sense that um, I'm genetically quite gray, and I think the amount of gray that was adding when it's suddenly like when I get into my 40s, I used to be able to count, and
Mm-hmm.
then in my in my 40s I just count no more. I said don't bother to count, don't get upset with it. Instead, embrace it, turn it into a trend. I was actually getting over the years. I decided just to get a little bit lighter, lighter, lighter. As you can see now, I have embraced it and turned it into a trend.
Mm-hmm.
You see, sometimes I cannot change back time. I cannot be young. My hair cannot be young anymore. So I feel that since I'm in the trend setting kind of business, I learned to embrace the change. Um, and especially because, like we always say, after a certain age, now you get a little bit of frown line, you get a little bit of eye bags here and there. It's like, oh gosh, why me? But no matter how much sleep and all things, but sometimes all these natural changes in our midlife, it just come along.
Mm-hmm.
So personally for me, because especially because I am pretty vain, I tend to, in that sense, visit a little bit more, visit my therapist more, and I think time for better skincare. Invest in myself, love myself. I think that is so important to anyone, all the ladies out there who's listening. Can be the guys. If you don't love yourself, enough is the word. You will never be able to stay younger.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I've been hearing all these things about health. I personally exercise a lot more as the time goes by. I am a big believer that the chair is my biggest enemy. So in
Mm-hmm.
my work, I walk a lot. My salons are decently big. So I don't get a chance to really sit too long, especially because my job allows me to stand. So at my age, just now you thank you for saying that you gave me 3 years younger. I am never shy to add the numbers. I am actually 66, officially announce it to everyone listening here. I am never afraid to tell people my age. Unlike a lot of people, the age number never come out, but I am thankful that I live to 66 now. Never a day in my heart that I look or I think 66. I always think I'm still young. My energy tells me I'm young. My mentality and my mindset tells me I'm young. I may be this age, but I think I'm still 38. That's how I feel. Live young, think young, dress young, and have a young mindset. I think that really helps anyone, be it a lady who always says that, oh, I retire, I don't need to look good. No, let me tell you, when you retire, you have the pleasure of time. And when you have the pleasure of time, do something about it. Embrace back an old hobby. Maybe if you like to swim, or maybe you love to cycle, do it in a light pace. Go to cycling, go and climb hills. I join my husband. We try to go back to Bukit Kera whenever we can. So I am doing things that when I was in my mid, I I say I have no time. Now that I am older, I make time. I think that is very, very important. So midlife crisis, everyone need to go through. So most important thing, well, I do have some tips in life to those people who always fear. Firstly, maybe change your hairstyle, change your hair color. It's important because if you think your hairstyle is your biggest problem, change it, embrace it because you're not 18 anymore. So don't think, oh, I used to have very long hair when I was 18, 22, but maybe now you are in the 50s or 60s. Talk to your hairdresser, You don't have to talk to me, talk to your hairdresser and tell them that you want to change. Embrace it. It's important because how you look helps you to carry yourself well. And it really takes years out of yourself because I believe I'm a fine example. Many people sometimes online ask me, how do you take care of yourself? I said, most important thing is take care of your hair. When you have a head of hair, lots of hair, they call it, definitely you look a lot younger. So take care of your hair is your crowning glory. Don't stinge on your hair.
Oh my God, I love that. And to be honest, let me be very, very honest with you, Datin. I'm just going to put everything down on the table today. The reason why my hair looks like this today is because I knew you're gonna be here. Because let me tell you, usually my hair is like all over the place. But I was like, I always look at your hair and it's like it inspires me to also like make sure that my hair looks good. And to be honest, you're right, Datin. It makes me feel much better as well. Like it makes me feel more confident, and I love that. And I like the idea of embracing white hair. I think a lot of people have, you look at anime characters, right? You have anime characters like pink hair and then like green hair and then like white hair. And then I feel like if you naturally have it, why not flaunt it? So thank you so much for that, Datin. And I think in terms of talking about looking good as a way to make you feel good, right? There are also like different things in terms of our bodies that change a lot during this aging process. And like we would all love to cheat our way out of that. And I think one of the ways to cheat is also to optimize the way that our body works. So, Dr. Jega, do you have any ideas? Share some of your breakdowns of like how to optimize your body. You're like the expert at this. Hi, Dr. Jega. I think you are muted.
I think the first thing, as I mentioned earlier, is you have to exercise discipline over what you eat.
Mm,
Eat all the right stuff. Huh? We won't go into
mm,
details, but you must eat a balanced meal,
mm-hmm,
eat the right things, and also maintain your weight. That's the first part. The second
mm,
part, which is equally important, is that you must have a regular program of physical activity.
mm,
You must be doing physical activity at least 3 to 5 times a week,
mm,
and each time maybe about half an hour. And you must do at such an intensity that you can raise your pulse rate to maybe between 130 to 150 beats per minute. You know,
Wow,
so
how do
that
I
you
know
actually
that though, doctor? How do I know what beat rate my heart is at though? Like what kind of exercise, what kind of like running or like
yes. So I'm coming to that. So
sorry.
so in other words, you have to choose the kind of activity, and there is a quite a bit of choice, and again depends on your age. When
Mm,
you're 30, 40, you can actually run a kilometer, you can run a marathon if you want. But as you grow older, you do less of these things, yeah. And like I said, 30 minutes of either rapid walking or jogging or swimming. Swimming is actually a very good exercise, if you got the facility, because the water supports you and you get less injuries. Whereas when you run and jump, you could be injuring your aging joints. Whereas swimming, the water supports you. Similarly with cycling. So you can
mm,
have a choice of all these things, yeah. You can run, you can walk, you can cycle, you can swim, you can do gymnastics, you can even do things like yoga. To 5 times a week, spending about half an hour. Actually, if you think of it, you have 24 hours a day, and to put aside half an hour for compulsory exercise a day should be part of your daily lifestyle. But a lot of
mm,
us, we become lazy or become too occupied with what else we do. So
mm,
that is the important part. So keep your exercise going. And
Mm.
at the same time, do the right things by avoiding bad habits. Bad habits means not sleeping enough, not resting enough, eating the wrong things, smoking, or drinking too much alcohol.
Mm.
So avoid some of these bad habits, and also regularly have a good checkup to find out that all your things are working well. So this way you can extend your not only your lifespan, but the quality of life that you can enjoy, and your locomotor system, that is your bones, muscles, and so on. Now,
Mm.
when you exercise, you actually burn calories. And even
Mm.
when you stop exercise, your body continues to burn for at least a couple of hours. Even though you have stopped the exercise, the burning continues, the metabolism continues. So that helps, rather than sitting in your chair. So remember that, yeah? So
Mm.
even after you stop the exercise, the extra burning continues for a while. So that is good. So these are the things that are going to help you maintain your weight control and your fitness, and your fitness. So this is important, huh? And you keep whenever you exercise, you are also exercising your heart and your circulatory system, so that your blood flows nicely to all parts of the organs, of your body. Now, one of the things is, when you don't do this, some parts of your body don't get enough blood supply, yeah? And then
Mm.
you can have problems, and this is what will happen. So this is the exercise part of your daily life, because we were meant to be physically active. 300,000 years ago, when our species had to run around, chase animals, bite them, climb trees, pluck fruits, just to survive. But today, we just go to a supermarket, buy the foodstuff, sit there, watch TV, and eat. But our body has not changed. So we are going to pay the price for that. So that's why we got to
Mm.
artificially introduce a system that stresses all our body parts, so that they're kept fit and they are functioning right up to as far as you can go.
Mm. Thank you so much for that, for those tips as well. Especially the tip about swimming. I think that's really, really helpful for those with, like, if you have joint issues or any kind of
Yes.
like weakness in muscle. So that's a really good tip. Thank you so much, Dr. Jagan.
And also
Um.
that, remember, when you swim, you're using the muscles of your whole body.
Mm.
Whereas when you run, mostly you are just exercising your legs, not so much any other things, yeah?
Mm.
Whereas when you swim, you're using your arms a lot more, you're using your trunk, your body, and so on. So swimming actually is a very good all-round exercise, except not many of us have direct access to a swimming pool so easily, unless you belong to a club, or something like that. So, and it's much harder to do. And also,
Mm.
although I mentioned earlier, that you put aside half an hour, 3 to 5 times a week,
Mm.
that is compulsory exercise. But
Mm.
again, please remember that exercise can also be opportunistic. What do I mean by this? I mean that whenever you have a chance, don't take the lazy way out. For instance, if you want to go to the third floor, use the staircase. Don't take the lift. Walk. And one of the things I used to do when I worked in government and I had a driver and a car, when I reach about half a kilometer or 1 kilometer from my house, I'll tell him to drop me and I walk back home. He takes the car. I walk back home. And interesting thing is, when friends and neighbors pass by, they'll immediately stop the car and say, "Hey dog, what happened? You want to leave?" I say, "No, thank you. I'm just walking." You know. So those are compulsory things that you introduce into your lifestyle, so that you don't have to even put aside your half an hour. It just becomes automatically, you physically stress your body whenever you got the chance. This is what I call opportunistic.
Mm.
Walk when you can, use stairs when you can. When you're idle, do some exercises, stretch the different joints, things like that. And that takes sometimes 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That's about all, 2 3 times a day. you know and you can still achieve the same objective.
Yeah, and the best part is you can do it while you're also watching TV, which is amazing. You can double up your time.
Yes, exactly. So it's a matter of making this part of your lifestyle.
Mm.
Like, you see, the thing is, like I said, most of us spending all our time sitting in cars, or going up, and don't forget, even an escalator, if you are interested, you can go upstairs in an escalator that's coming down. Can you
Oh, like
understand?
contrary to the
Exactly. You got to work extra hard to get up there when the escalator is coming down. I've done this quite often actually. It's quite an exercise.
that
Try it
sounds
next
like
time.
so much fun.
Try it next time. Because you got to have so much energy, to go against the escalator that's coming down. But be careful, huh? Don't fall down and get hurt. Okay? You know?
I would love to do that. I
All right.
remember I
One
used
more
to
thing,
do
huh?
that.
One more
Oh
thing.
yeah.
What people don't realize is when you do exercise like this, your body builds muscles.
Mm,
You dissolve your fatty tissue and you make muscles.
mm.
And muscles are more efficient burners of your calories than fat. you know so all these things help you in little ways, they add up to lead you a better life.
Hmm. Thank you. I love that idea of fitting in physical exercise whenever that you can in your daily routine. I think that's a really wonderful tip to have when it comes to keeping your body fit. In
Yes.
terms of like this physical activity, Coach Sunny, I know you also are, one of you also are very active in terms of how you, um, in terms of what you're doing daily today. So maybe we can share some of the actions that you took to combat the aging process in your daily life.
Okay, first things first, I want to spend money eating food. I'm not going to spend my money eating medicine. You know, uh, better. I do things like most Malaysians do. Roti
Mm,
canai,
mm,
teh tarik. I don't go sweet stuff lah. I don't like sweet stuff. I indulge in roti canai. I think like what 4 times, 5 times a week. I go for my teh tarik. We are Malaysians. We are Malaysians. Of course, our species we actually meant to live in the jungle lah. Active lifestyle, chase after the squirrels. So now because this is the reality. At 52, I want to continue drinking my teh tarik. Kurang manis lah actually nowadays lah. I'm sure many Malaysians out there is doing that. I still want to continue eating my roti canai. At the same time, some process, some mee goreng, some curry beef. We got some beautiful food right now, country. So it's like that one cannot eat, this one cannot eat. That is like we are living for. We want to enjoy food. I don't want to spend my life eating medicines, to heal this and heal that. So what do? Just like many other people out there, is like cardio, endurance. I do a lot of. I do walk. I walk every day. It's my
mm,
job. I walk, and when I go into coaching, I do some dynamic stuff. I mean, we all know the fact. Doctor knows this. Datin Sri knows this at 52. Yeah, the degenerative factor. You will have problems. You will have some issues with your knees, like, especially when you're in football or some high performance sports.
mm,
So, because you cannot run anymore, I mean, where do you want to go at 52? What record do I want to break at 52? Do I want to be the best goalkeeper at 52, or do I want to sprint on the field, football player? No. So I choose coaching. When I coach, I touch, I feel, I get to interact, and I get to do the same thing. It's like, when you are working around alongside children with disabilities, you have to show the exercise. It's not just standing there and telling, okay, adik now jumping star. You're dealing with an autistic child. What is jumping star? So you get to do it, and just imagine me coaching the blind. You tell them, adik, jumping star. To them is, I can't even see what you're doing, jumping star. How do I do? So it's like, you feel me, I'm doing it. In order for me to deliver, I have to do it. So I enjoy that part. I cannot run anymore. I cannot run too fast. So I walk daily. I walk as long as I get things, I get my heart pumping, and then after doing all that, I go and kena my teh tarik. So I think most Malaysians would love to do that, right? I hope I can still continue to do that while still engaging in physical exercise. The PE factor. We need the PE factor. I know it's good to have six packs, but when you're married, you have a family pack. From six, you get one. Right? So it's nothing to be embarrassed about. Yes, I had weight issues before at 90 plus and all this thing, but immediately after 37, when I got back into football and sports, start to balance everything. At the same time, still enjoying the teh tarik that I mentioned. I don't enjoy teh tarik, but then again at 52, you must have that taste lah every day. I don't know what is Datin's thoughts, doctor's thoughts on that lah. If every day must drink some teh or something. But I admit lah, I want to be just like every other Malaysian, try to enjoy food. Of course, I'm a vegetarian, nothing much to say. But I don't want to eat medicines. I just want to enjoy life by still going for my roti canai and teh tarik, just like everybody else.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I think one of the misconceptions of people about diets is like that, people like fad diets, right? So they're like, okay, we're going to stick to this one diet. And then most of the time, that's why those diets fail. It's because you're severely changing the way that you are eating suddenly, as opposed to sort of, tweaking bits, like bits and pieces here and there to make what you already eat healthier. Like Coach, you talked about, teh tarik kurang manis, right? Like a bit later in age. So yeah, that's wonderful. Actually, I do want to hear Datin Winnie's opinion on this as well, or stance on this as well, in terms of eating habits, right? How has that changed? Moving from your 40s onwards, for you.
I think I totally agree with what Sunny says. We must have, we are Malaysians, and basically, I really enjoy all kind of Malaysian food. Whether and then occasional nasi lemak and all these things. Teh, like teh tarik is really one of my favorite, but I used to always say kurang manis, but I think the Malaysian style of kurang manis, you myself say tak mau manis. Don't want sugar and you put your own self, yeah.
Datin, go for tasty nowadays, tasty.
Yeah, exactly. So I learned to realize that their control of kurang manis is never kurang one. So in the end, the best thing is desi or teh tarik tak mau gula, that kind of thing. But I think in whatever it is, I think it's very important for us to enjoy life with some moderation. You cannot every day doing the same thing, right? So I do enjoy like some mornings, like let's say 3 mornings in a week. I really enjoy my new change. I totally suddenly changed to I love salads. So I start off a very healthy morning, and that habit, especially since during the I think because the pandemic did change me, because I used to wine and dine. There's continuous event where even at midnight you can see me having teh tarik and nasi lemak in one of those famous Malaysian stores. After an event, because it's never full, we are always half full at events. So, but because of the pandemic, I sort of embrace a bit of change, and I am very happy about that change. I just learned to stop eating. It's like I zip my mouth after 8:30. It's like no more suppers, no more this, no more teh tarik in the evening. So whatever I need to do in moderation is all in the day. Enough sugar, enough everything, because I have enough time to burn it off. And I picked up a very interesting habit, a healthy habit, which I maybe encourage more friends to do it. Every night after dinner, I try to walk 45 minutes, and it's fantastic for my digestion. I've never felt this good. So I used to do a lot of morning walks, but now I change a little because I really think that the night walks are so pleasant. After dinner, just go for my walk, a good walk, not just lazy walk, a real good walk. Burn it off and come back, relax, and sleep, and then it'll be a better day. So that is how I've been training and embracing my body to to age well, and I have a better. I think my mind, and I felt a lot healthier. I think that has really been very fantastic. Even this pandemic didn't really ages me, because who is not worried? The challenges that I went through with my shopping shut and this and that, right? But importantly, it's because I changed my habit. I learned to embrace change, and so my body changed with me. One thing good about it, it's been the longest time that I'm not boasting. I still have my teenage weight. So I never have a problem of weight problem, thanks to good genes, I believe. Sometimes people think that I don't eat. There's no such thing in life that you don't eat. If you don't eat, you will never be healthy. You just eat right. And all the occasional food that Sunny mentioned, that one is definitely one of my comfort food and something that I will not want to give up. Whether it's teh tarik, coffee tarik, or whatever tarik, I think that I am Malaysian. Yeah.
Love that. I love that. Actually, I also want to get Dato Jega's opinion on this. Teh tarik or no teh tarik?
No, I think what you have mentioned, both of you and the speakers, is that there's nothing wrong with teh tarik, but the fact remains control the sugar that you put in it.
Mm,
There are two things that we have to be careful, because our habit is to enjoy the taste of sugar. The other one is salt. We
mm,
add too much salt, we get issues with blood pressure and so on.
mm,
So these are two things. It's nice to have salt to give your food taste, but again, minimize it and slowly learn how to eat with smaller amounts. And
mm,
sugar and sweet things, yeah. Again,
mm,
for instance, even when you drink some aerated water, try to avoid those with actually sugar in them. And nowadays you can buy these drinks no sugar. So make your practice of minimizing the consumption of sugar. And even when you have to enjoy eating cakes, sweets, chocolates, it's all a question of moderation. There's
mm,
nothing wrong with eating two pieces of a small chocolate or having a sweet to enjoy the taste, but not
mm,
eat the whole bottle. You know what I mean? It's all about moderation. And
mm,
Winnie was quite right. We should not be sacrificing things, but we should not be overdoing things. For
mm,
instance, even when you say, for instance, when you talk of alcohol, if you sort of have a big binge once a week, you go and have with your friends and get drunk and come home, it's less harmful than drinking steadily every night.
mm,
That's a fact. Many people don't realize. Now and then you go and have a binge with your friends, enjoy yourself, get a get a grab car to bring you back. Don't drive, huh? Get a grab car to take you home, have a good sleep on a Sunday morning, sleep through, and enjoy yourself. Getting drunk once a week is less harmful, than every night sitting down and drinking quietly three drinks in
mm,
your house, which is called a steady soaking. Avoid that.
mm,
It's better to have a binge now and then than to have steady soaking. You
mm,
know. So remember that these are some of the things that we actually can put into practice. And
mm,
like I said, lah, you minimize, not completely cut off, as people have already mentioned before me, Sunny and Winnie. There are things you want to enjoy. You don't have to give them all up. It's a
mm,
matter of moderation. Enjoy them, but
mm,
also at the same time, having enjoyed them, learn how to burn it off. But let me also tell you, that if you overeat, it takes a lot of effort to burn off. For instance, if you want to lose 1 pound, you got to walk 32 miles. If you wanted to lose 1 pound today by just walking, you got to walk 32 miles, because you need to expend 32,000 calories to reduce 1 pound. So it tells
How,
you how hard it is.
okay, sorry. How many kilometers is that? Because I'm not quite sure. It sounds like a lot. 32 miles sounds like a lot. How many kilometers is that in metrics? I'm
Well,
curious.
probably 50 kilometers.
For 1 pound,
Yes.
that's like 3 kgs.
Yes. No, I mean, if you don't eat, of course, what I'm saying is, if your normal lifestyle, you're eating the same amounts, and then you
Mm,
say, I want to reduce 1 pound, say, like, by today, I want to reduce 1 pound of my weight by exercising. It's not that
mm,
you exercise for 20 minutes, you lose a pound. You won't.
mm,
You really got to burn your energy by going 32 kilometers.
mm. There's this we've had a lot of this kind of like talk about weight as well, off and on. I think everybody here's mentioned it as well. I
Yes.
think in terms of I think there's still a lot of confusion or misinformation about why it's bad to be overweight, because we hear this all the time, right? We shouldn't overeat, we shouldn't be. But what kind of diseases can be caused by being overweight? Like what why
Yeah.
is that so
Yeah.
harmful?
You see, the thing is, we have what we call an optimum weight. As I said, our human body was designed, yeah, to be operative in an optimum weight. And to measure whether you are within the range or not, we use an index called BMI, yeah,
mm,
the basic metabolic, indicator,
mm,
where we actually take our height and divide it by our weight in squares, yeah, and then you get a figure. And usually you need to be less than 25,
mm,
if your figure is less than 25, you're okay. But some obese people, they can even reach up to 30, 40, and what is harmful is that once you are in that your body is not designed to function properly at that weight. Because don't forget,
mm,
we are made like a machine, we have a skeletal system that carries us around, our bones, yeah. And our bones are put together by joints. We have ligaments and muscles that allow us to make our movements, and all these were designed at an optimal weight. But the moment you are overweight, then you're putting excess stress on your whole body, in terms of its functioning. It
mm,
was not meant to do that. For
mm,
instance, I mean, give a simple example. If you have a small lorry and you're expected to carry only one ton of things, you can't put 5 tons on the lorry and drive it, can you?
mm,
How long will a lorry last? So in the same
mm,
way, our body was designed to be of a certain structure and to do certain amount of activity and to be efficient. But the
mm,
moment you put stress and strain on it, then you pay the price for it.
mm,
So for instance, if your joints have to carry heavier weights than they are supposed to, they were not designed to carry that kind of weight, then of course you're going to pay the price. You're going to have
mm.
joint problems.
Mm, yeah, thank you so much. I think thank you so much for bringing up the BMI as well, because I think whenever we talk about, weight and obesity and we use these terms, I think quite often it gets confused with physical appearance as well, as opposed to, healthy weight. So
Yes.
thank you for bringing that up, as well. What generally is like, so for when we talk about keeping the weight off and keeping healthy to make sure that we optimize our body, sometimes it can get difficult to motivate ourselves. So this is kind of like the question I want to address to sort of everybody in the panel as well, because what I've heard here a lot is like, sneaking eat like 40, like Datin, goes and walks 45 minutes after dinner,
Yes.
which is amazing. And then we talk about talking, and then coach, you work all day as well. I just want to know, isn't it, when you get to that particular age, right? Or not just at any age, right? Exercise can be difficult. And quite often you can kind of feel demotivated. Sometimes you feel really tired, you feel demotivated. So what are some of the ways in which, you overcome that demotivation in terms of, exercise? Maybe we can start with Coach Sunny, and then we'll circle back to Dato Jega later, because I'm also very interested to hear your take on this.
Thanks, Myra. Uh, I think I sincerely think that the subject physical education,
Mm,
sports science, which you can do it in the universities, sports management, sports science, physical education.
mm,
I think it's no longer uh, what do you call this? Uh, there waiting to be taught to children or youths when they just reach 17 years old and enroll in universities. No, I think everybody needs to understand what is calorie deficit. See, when we do sports, people talk about it like as long as you're working out at the right uh, quantity, amount, time,
mm,
with the right age, you can eat anything. That's what we hear. That's what we hear. But then
mm,
again, I think children need to be taught about eating right,
mm,
and youth need to know about what is calorie deficit. It's not always about overweight. What about if you're underweight? You know.
mm, mm,
So I mean, what do we need? The components of fitness
mm,
to keep moving and to keep lasting, to keep going at 70s, 60s. Look at that sensory. Look at Dr. Jega.
mm,
It's like you have to have that right education and
mm,
discipline. So I
mm,
think calorie deficit is something which is very, very basic that
Mm-mm.
It needs to be taught, it needs to be drilled down to them. It's like you can eat McD, nothing is wrong. You know, we call it the chemical chicken. Like the kampong chicken, is like it won't go wrong. You know, but what happens next? You can consume that, but you cannot over consume that. But what if you cheat today and you eat something is like you ate a lot, you got some
Mm,
function, during carving and all this thing. But
mm,
how do you need to have the children, the youth, the adult need to have this knowledge? What is calorie deficit? You know, it's
mm,
like we don't want to scare people. I know all of us here today are speakers. We don't want to scare people. It's like, hey, you don't eat this, you don't eat that. Huh? You're gonna die tomorrow if you eat that, if you eat this. But then again, things need to be balanced. Everything has been said about this. Education is the key for a better Malaysia. I think
mm,
our obesity rates are quite high. So can I, as a Malaysian, with my social responsibility approach, can I call out people to come and, hey, why don't you come and be like me, Sunny? Why don't you come and be like Dr. Jega? Why don't you come and volunteer and be like Datin Sri Winnie? See, 66, so beautiful. You know, we can tell people, but you got to come out. You got to get engaged in some kind of physical activity. You don't know what to do.
mm,
You come and see me. You come and volunteer as a trainer. You go to schools, you go to PE. It's very boring if somebody tells you that you're going to work out every day or
mm,
4 to 5 times a day. You do it
mm,
alone. Why not do it together? Come
mm.
to us. We work together. We make a better Malaysia. Everybody is in a really good shape. Live longer. That's my thoughts about making Malaysia better,
Thank you. I think that's a good.
emotionally, mentally.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's a really good idea as well because it's nice. It's always more fun to do stuff when you have more people with you, right? To do it with you, you can laugh together, you can catch up on your day. So that's wonderful. And I think moving to Datin Win,
Can I just jump in here? You
uh,
see,
uh,
one of the things is, unfortunately, our culture, we have a obogenic culture.
mm,
For instance, whenever we meet a friend, the first thing we ask is, have you eaten already? Soda makan ka? We don't say, hey, did you do your exercise today? See,
mm,
we're always talking, and whenever we meet a social event, it's all about eating. Anything, whether it's a birthday or a wedding or anything, it's all about organizing a great feast. Am I right? So we have an obogenic culture. So we should also shift away from that. While we should enjoy our food and so on, we should not make that our main idea of social interaction, about eating and enjoying and having feasts. See? So I think that is a cultural change that we also need to slowly work through the educational system. You know? Myra, your mic is off.
hello, can everybody hear me?
Now
Okay,
it's on. Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful. Sorry. There was a moment where I think you were cut off just a bit. Could we just could you very quickly just recap what you shared?
Regarding which one?
Yeah. So you said that there was a kind of like a eat culture in Malaysia where the first
Yes.
thing that
Yeah.
you asked, yeah.
Yeah. You see, because our culture is, our social culture revolves around eating. For
Mm,
instance, when we meet somebody during the day, one of the common things we ask is, hey, sudah makan ka? You know?
mm,
You know? and and like I said, any kind of function we have, for instance, even when you have a meeting to discuss serious things,
mm,
one of the things they will organize is to make sure you got a good tea, in between, or a good lunch after. Otherwise they'll say, look, like I spent 2 hours there and they didn't give me anything to eat. you know that is that. And then even when they put things on the table, they say, what, only this? I mean, I expected to see, all these special things and all that.
mm,
So we have to slowly appreciate that health is equally important and
mm,
make the cultural changes,
mm.
that will allow us to be more balanced in this regard.
Thank you. And I think, Dr. Jega, I think you and Coach Sunny quite align on this topic as well. But I do want to hear, because we've been talking quite a lot about different culture, like culture, the Malaysian culture, and the kind of things that you want to give up, you don't want to give up. We've also talked a little bit about, changes in body. So I want to talk about, I kind of want to draw the attention just a little bit towards, I think, kind of this idea and this relationship between looking good and feeling good, because before we did talk about how weight is not necessarily, it's not about the physical look of it, it's about the health aspect of it, the BMI. But there is a certain element of change when it comes to the way that our bodies look and develop as we age. So I think, Datin, Winnie, I wanted to hear your thoughts on this. What is that relationship between looking good and feeling good, which you brought up earlier, and also, were there any kind of changes that you had to go through when it comes to embracing this new body that you have, not just the hair, but like, because you seem to be very interested and very passionate about this topic. So what do you
Well,
think, Datin?
yeah, I think looking good, a lot of us, many people may be born looking good, somehow, and you're born looking good, you already had an advantage, right?
Mm,
But you see, sometimes looking good can be because you have money. You tend to spend a lot more on better hair care, better skin care, and you wear better clothes. That is really definitely helping you to look sharper,
mm,
looking great, because you have everything top to toe. We say
mm,
you style to success is because you have it, right?
mm,
But I think feeling good is also a very important thing, because you see, when feeling good makes you have a lot more confidence in life. It's like sometimes, especially when I say after 45 minutes of a good walk in the evening, I really feel good.
mm,
It costs me nothing. It just costs me nothing. It costs me a lot of sweat, a lot of sweat.
mm,
And that kind of encouragement to people, I definitely want to encourage more people to have that feel good factor,
mm,
which is so easy to achieve.
mm,
Feeling good by doing what you love, maybe some exercise, and eat the right thing, have enough rest, and occasional holiday. I think all these things is important. When we cannot work until we get burnout, I
mm,
think in life we just need to stop and smell some roses sometimes. Everyday work is like no play at all. I think make us whether a dull jack and a boring Jane, that kind of thing. So why do we want to have a life which is so boring? So instead, we should just take a break, take a stop, take a break. Whether sometimes hit it out, go hiking, go
mm,
things that embrace something that you have always thought I wanted to do it. You see, we always say tomorrow I'll do it. Many people, I don't know whether about Sunny's friends or doctor's friend, even sometimes our own self. We
mm,
always have this problem. When there was a stage, I actually became lazy. Even my
mm,
husband complained about what happened because I got too busy with work. So I
mm,
always tell myself, okay, tomorrow I'll do it, tomorrow I'll do it. But looks like the tomorrow didn't come. Then in the end, when I started to slack, I feel when my energy somehow is not at top form, I
mm,
become mindful of myself and I keep telling myself, hey, what happened to the feel good factor? Because I like to wake up in the morning after I get up in the morning, I don't want to feel like, oh, I want to sleep again. I want to feel good for the day and last me till midnight. I think that is so important. Looking good, you can put some makeup, you can really, wear a nice dress. But when we feel good, actually, the world is our oyster. We can travel, we can go places. You have, good form of hamstrings, and your legs are good, your soles are good. You wear the right shoe, you really go places. I have a lot of clients that tells me,
mm,
I am really surprised. Sometimes I thank God for that. I maybe if there's some wood to touch, I will keep touching the wood, because I live to this age that until today, I've never tried a single HRT. I have not even need they call it a cholesterol pill, or or a blood pressure pill and all things. I really praise my God for blessing, because I feel all these things is because I I am one who is thankful. Be grateful, be thankful has always been my philosophy in life. And the more I achieve, I stay very humble. I think that really helps. For a great mindset, a fit mindset should be one who's always grateful that we are alive.
I love that. I think if we were to get one great tip from Datin Winnie, that would be to be grateful when we are as in this aging process. I love that, and I think I want to open that as well to, Dato Jega as well as Sunny. What is this that one tip? If you were to, if the audience were to walk away with one tip from you, what is the one tip that you will give them on how to break this midlife mindset and start, that fit mind habit? So whoever wants to start first, wants to go first, maybe Sunny or Dato Jega.
Sunny, go ahead, Sunny.
Yeah, I think maybe some of them out there can do what I did. I just discovered myself. I just discovered what do I like most. I like football. I went all out on football with a twist. Like I said, I love football. I chose football, but I modified it for a special community, and I'm loving it. So discover yourself, who you are.
I love that. So we have be grateful, discover yourself, which I think in Japanese is ikigai. So I like that. And
And
what about Dato Jega? What about you?
yes, so what is most important, again, picking from what Winnie said earlier, we all must lead a balanced life.
Hmm.
Life has to be balanced, not just all work, not just all play. And I give an example. For instance, if you got a jar and you want to fill up the jar and you are given rocks, pebbles, and sand.
Mm,
If you were to fill up the jar with just sand alone, you got no chance to put your pebbles and your rocks.
mm,
But if you manage to put the rocks in first, you can still put in some pebbles and still put in some sand. And that is how you get a balanced life. So, in other words, we got to work out and see what are the rocks, the pebbles, and the sand in our lives. For instance, in the terms of rocks, it will be your job, it will be your family. You must have. When it comes to pebbles, it will be the things it's good for you to have. In other words, the exercise, the relaxation, the stimulation. And the sand is the fun things you have to enjoy yourself. Watch a movie, go to a party. You still must have some sand. So that is how you have a balanced life. And one of the secrets of having a balanced life is to acquire very early the skill of time management,
mm,
how you manage your time. And that is important. And you, to link with time management, you need two things. One is you need to prioritize your life's needs, in terms of which are your pebbles, which are your stones, and which are your sand. Once
mm,
you have done that, you allocate appropriate time. And what is equally important is having appropriated the time, stick to the time.
mm,
A job needs only 1 hour, don't spend 3 hours doing it. Then you're going to pay the price for something else. So the essence of having a balanced life is deciding what are the rocks, the pebbles, and the sand in your life to put in your jar of life. Yeah. And how do you prioritize what they are and how you divide your time. And to be able to make all this work, what is important is you must have discipline.
I
Discipline.
love that. Thank you so much, Dr. Jega. Sorry to cut you short, but in the spirit of taking your advice, unfortunately, we're at the end of our panel
Oh,
discussion for the day. But thank you so much to all the speakers for that insightful sharing session. I think it takes, I think it takes awesomeness to open up and share your journeys and stories and tips with everyone. And I think everyone at home as well is very happy to have heard this panel discussion. So a huge thank you so much to Dato Dr. Jega, to Coach Sunny, and to Datin Winnie for such a great and meaningful session. We are going to continue with the rest of the program. But before we do you want to have one last thing that you want to say? Very short, just very fast. Like if you were to say 3 words, what would you say?
3 words. Good luck to all of you.
Wonderful. I love that.
Okay,
Come on,
for
Coach
me,
Sunny.
look at the bright side of life and be happy.
I
Yes.
love that. Coach Sunny, 3 words.
Keep rocking, Malaysia.
Keep rocking Malaysia. All right. And on that note, we're going to end the panel discussion and we'll be back soon with the rest of the event. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Hi, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed that panel discussion. We had 3 wonderful speakers on with us, and I hope that you learned a little bit more tips and tricks that you can, implement into your life, and also that it will ease a little bit of the anxiety when it comes to aging. And we're not done yet, as we are coming to the end of the webinar. But let me tell you more about the Be a Star After 50 campaign. So we're here with this panel discussion to celebrate stars after 50. And in honor of this, we are running a special campaign to showcase these stars. So if you or someone that you know, regardless of your background, whose ideas and efforts have helped to transform society to improve health and well-being in older age, please send us your stories before the 15th of November in 2022, and you can stand a chance of winning exciting prizes of up to 20,000 ringgit. So please do share your story with us, and you can do that in 3 easy steps. So first is you can upload your photo or video to Facebook or Instagram, and that would demonstrate you either being sporty or exhibiting a tender heart, being ambitious, or just simply being radiant, right? And you can send more than 1 entry in each of these 4 categories. So these 4 categories are sporty, tender-hearted, ambitious, and radiant. And secondly, you can write a short caption on your real life star moments after 50 in no more than 50 words. So your video must not exceed 1 minute, and your submission post must include the following hashtag, which is to be a star after 50, optimum living my, hashtag nutrient optimum, and hashtag star media group. If you want to know more about this, you can also scan the QR code on the top left, and last but not least, you can set your profile public and submit your submissions to bit.ly/be a star after 50. So just to recap, number 1, take a photo of yourself, upload it on Facebook or on Instagram. You can also take a video and then show that you are either sporty, tender-hearted, ambitious, or radiant. And then you can write a short caption talking about your real life star moments after 50. Try to keep it less than 50 words and make sure that you have the hashtag. It is as simple as that. So please do submit your entries today. You can register by scanning the QR code on the top left, or you can go to bit.ly/be a star after 50. You can also, these steps are also there for you to refer to. So let us celebrate your achievements and inspire others to learn how they can add life to your years. You can scan the QR code shown on the screen on the top left, or you can go to bit.ly/be a star after 50 to learn more about this campaign, or you can just go to the chat box or the comment section of wherever that you're watching from and just click the link. Aside from that, we would like to inform you that our next Nestle webinar, Navigating Transitions to Thrive at 50 and Beyond, is happening on the 27th October 2022. That's on a Thursday, and the time is from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. You may join our session by scanning this QR code on the screen, or you can go to bit.ly/be a star after 50 W2 to register. You may also click on the link in the chat box or in the comment section to book your session in the second webinar. Last but not least, Your feedback is important for us to keep providing you with a better event experience. And so before we conclude our webinar, please do share your thoughts with us about this webinar by completing a short survey. And as mentioned at the very beginning of the event, when I was talking about all of the different ways in which Nutrient Optimum can help you, here's how you can be in the running to win a jute bag, that Nutrient Optimum drink, as well as the shaker that comes with it. So all you need to do is scan the QR code that is shown here on the screen, or you can go to bit.ly/BeAStarAfter50-W1-survey. The link is also in the chat box or in the comment section below. Second, just let us know what your thoughts are about today's session. Number 3, answer the participate to win question and look out for the winner announcement via your email. I'm signing out now, but ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Star Media Group, thank you once again for your participation and for staying with us until the end of the session. We would also like to thank our partner, Nutrient Optimum by Nestle Health Science, for coming with us on this journey to make this webinar a success. If you need any assistance, please reach out to us at events@thestar.com.my. We look forward to hosting you again at the next Star Media Group's event. Until then, stay safe and have a great weekend. Bye.
Young man, hurry up, please. When we maintain our strength and energy, we live with vitality, going through our daily routine with ease. And it all begins with the complete nutrition of Nutrient Optimum. It has whey protein for muscle building, pre and probiotics to improve gut function. Nutrient Optimum, optimum strength, optimum living. Introducing a brand new look with the same complete nutrition you know and trust.